Today I am going to discuss about the question answers of chapter number 1st of history, which is the transition movement. So today let us start about the question and answers of briefly. First question: how did the Renaissance, Reformation and new geographical discoveries led to the modern age? Renaissance led to the discovery of the modern age by the Protestant Church incident and the Catholic Church incident, in which this phrase the people asked the question why about the suggestions given by them. All the statements and the rules which were given by the Britishers to the Christians that time or any other religion, in that phrase we asked started now questions about why should we follow that rule. And this led about the modern age because people were now evolving their thoughts, thinking and mentality. Then reformation led to the spirit of inquiry, humanism, rationalism. In this, people were evolving the nationalism, which means love towards their country. And in this phrase, this is how the Reformation led to the modern age. Then geographical discoveries. New geographical discoveries were first discovered by Vasco da Gama, as he discovered, but he didn't. He discovered the Indian Ocean, which was not discovered. After much later, he came to know about. He discovered the Indian Ocean. This led to the development of culture, technology, and also we know about different cultures of the different countries, in which we led to the modern age. Then second, give reasons why the Industrial Revolution first began in England. In the 18th century, the England started his industrial revolution, in which he opened factories and started the industrial revolution for taking the things and sending the things outer and inside the country, importing and exporting of the materials by the sea routes. This was first started in England because much reformations like nationalism, rationalism, Protestant Catholic Church movement were first happened in England only, and also it was much developed in that century from other countries. Then third, explain the impact of industrial revolution on society, economic and polity. Because in India we were refused to do the import and export of things, we were not able much transfer of money to the government. In that case, we much if we developed by the industrial revolution, now the India must have been developed much faster than other countries. Second, when society is impacted is most because the rural areas which were growing the crops for sellings were not allowed to sell. In that case, the fruits and vegetables which were grown by the farmers were wasted out because they were producing in such ways that the materials were going to an end, because that time the seeds were very, the people who are rich can only buy the seeds, and also the farmers were not able to use fertilizers urea, which were in higher concentration used in farming. In that case, the farming of the farmers gone wrong, and also led to the impact of industrialization in the farmer's life too. It impacted on polity because the government which were ruled on India was British government only. But if India was one of the country which might have been got any chance to transit any export or import of the materials, so we would have been started the industrial revolution in the country. But the India has some East India companies in today also, which were started by Britishers for the profit of them only. If the Indians or the exporters which were sent to the another countries for exporting, it was for the beneficial of the Britisher only. No benefit was provided to the Indians. Then, what is imperialism? Discuss the factors which led to the rise of imperialism. Imperialism is a state of factor in which we develop the nationalism towards our country and we fight it for our motherland. The factors which rise to the imperialism was first Catholic Church incident which happened and the Protestant march towards the Britishers in which the members which consisting in the church were asking the questions started by why we should follow the rule implemented by the Britishers. Then give reasons. First, most of the countries in south of Asia were colonies of Europe. Europe, which were the first who started the industrial revolution, was much powerful in that time. So South Asia was not developed much than the Europe. It considered as the soldiers and the technical implement like the guns and the transport and export of substances were done that time, but South Asia was not much developed that to sell or export anything, also having no guns and the materials for fighting. So with the trained soldiers they attacked us and the 13 colonies of the South Asia was taken from the Europe. So these were the question answers about we learned in the about this chapter. Now we will see the exercises. First, read the two statements given below about the impact of industrial revolution. Select the options that choose the correct relationship between A and R. Assertion A. European countries acquired colonies of Asia and Africa. Reason R. Industrial revolution led mass production of wood and could not be consumed by locally. So it is R is the reason for A, because when the industrial revolution led to the high production of goods, and also it was not consumed by locally as we cannot send, as we were not allowed to import and export the things. So because the 13 colonies of the South Asia which were allowed to import and export the things were under the Europe for their beneficial too. Then, thank you.